Hello and welcome to the international program. Our report this month takes us to the Market Square, where the first Herzo Pride March was held on the 27th of September 2025.
This year, for the very first time, the Pride Parade came to our town. Herzo Pride kicked off with music from the Erlangen band Missing Piece. Although this was the first time for Herzo, these marches are a decades-long tradition all over the world. The term Gay Pride was coined later. The first marches were called Gay Liberation Marches, and the main demands were for dignity, equality, and basic civil rights protections for the LGBTQ+ community. Although the start was small, these protests grew into a powerful movement over the next few decades and achieved tremendous progress. Today, many of these hard-won rights are coming under attack, and the focus of these marches has changed in keeping with the times. Around the world, the marches are generally held in June, which is Pride Month, but in Germany, it's a little different. Here, the marches start as early as April and are spread throughout the summer months and even into autumn. Every weekend from the end of April right through to the end of October, we have the opportunity to join in a Pride parade somewhere in Germany. And there are many people who make it a point to attend at least one Pride event every weekend. This year, there were 240 Christopher Street Day marches in towns spanning the length and breadth of the country. In towns of all sizes, from huge cities with millions of residents like Berlin, Munich, and Hamburg, to small towns that many of us have not heard of, like Nierstein and Rheinsberg, which have around 8,000 residents, to Zeutern, a tiny town with just over 3,000 residents. And this year, our town was added to the calendar with its own CSD, or Christopher Street Day March. A few weeks before the march, we met up with Sabrina Brehm and Jana Krober, who, along with other like-minded people, organized Herzo Pride. Jana explains the significance of Christopher Street and how an incident that took place there became a catalyst for the entire LGBTQ+ movement.
Christopher Street was a street in New York City, and there was a bar called the Stonewall Inn, and this bar was famous because it was visited by many gay people back then. And at this time, in 1969, being gay was illegal, and there were a lot of oppression of gay people. And on the 28th of June 1969, there was also quite a big raid by the police, which was also done often before. But on this day, there was a riot, and they started to uprise against the police, to withstand the violence the police made against them. And in the following years, the people there, they started demonstrations to commemorate Christopher Street Day and the uprisings which the people did there.
When was the first CSD march held in Germany and where?
So the first CSD march in Germany was at the end of June in 1979 in Berlin, and about 450 people took part in it. And it was the first parade, and it was the beginning in Germany for the CSD.
The Christopher Street riots took place on the 28th of June. So why is the march commemorating the riots taking place 3 months after that date?
So March is on 27th of September, and we chose that date because we wanted everyone here in a local region to be able to attend every CSD. So a week before we have a Lang CSD, and we didn't want any collision with that. And on the other hand, it's a lot organized. We have to find sponsors, we have to find people who are there on this day, and that's why it's a bit later.
Who is organizing the march and why?
So we are a group of some private people who have never organized a CSD before. We go to school, to university, we work, and we came together to organize the CSD. We have many CSDs in local areas. So we have one in Fürth or in Nuremberg or Erlangen, but not one here. So when you came from Herzogenaurach, you had to drive to a different city. And we wanted to have one here so everyone can go to a CSD even if they can't drive to Erlangen. And we have many queer people here, so we just want to have a little more representation in Herzogenaurach. Because with all the things happening in politics and global, We just want to have more awareness.
Do you feel people are more open to the LGBTQ plus movement now, or do you feel there have been some setbacks recently?
So we feel both are right. There are many people really open for the queer community. Like, for example, when we started organizing, we had some open meetings where you could help us organize. And we have many people who came to us who want to help us organize the CSD, and many older people who didn't have people around them who are queer or who aren't queer themselves. And we're really glad they are there. But also there have been some setbacks in politics because some rights are being taken from us, or some political parties want to take some rights from us, and that's why we want to spread awareness.
Queeres Leben und queere Menschen stehen unter Angriff. Es ist nicht die Faust, die letztendlich einen und damit alle von uns trifft. Es sind auch die blöden Kommentare, ein unangenehmer Blick oder die klischeebehafteten Fragen. Queerfeindlichkeit ist nicht nur ein körperlicher Angriff. Queerfeindlichkeit ist alles, was Queers das Gefühl gibt, unwillkommen zu sein.
At the march, we heard from members of the LGBTQ plus community who talked about their fears as well as their hopes.
Ich wünsche mir eine Welt, in der unsere Liebe nicht politisch sein muss. Aber genau das muss sie. Deshalb stehe ich für queere Politik, für linke Politik. Auch in Herzogenaurach, da wir auch hier eine Stimme brauchen.
And that need for a voice is highlighted by the motto of the march, Nie wieder still, or silent no more. A wide range of people spoke up in support of the LGBTQ plus community, from our mayor, Dr. German Hacker, who reminded us about the basic rights that are guaranteed to all of us by the German Constitution, to representatives of some of our political parties here in Herzo, to a pastor with the Evangelical Church, and also the organizers of Herzo Pride. And there were other creative ways that people used to make sure that they were being heard. Some with the help of bells or placards, and everyone there just by their presence and enthusiasm at the parade. Our Herzo cheerleaders and drag queen Miss C made sure that the participants were entertained. And of course, there was a march.
Aletta, Aletta, die Omas sind härter!
The march started at the meadow opposite the Realschule, wound its way past the Volkshochschule building, completed a loop around the old town, and finally ended back in the high street. And then it was time for a street festival where everyone could have fun or just relax. While we were there, we took the opportunity to speak with some of the people and to find out why they decided to be a part of Herzo Pride.
Hello, Werner. Hello, Fabio. Are you from here?
Yes, we both live here in Herzo.
Okay, so I have heard your father and son.
Yes.
How come are you here?
I find it is very important to show that we have an open society and that everybody can love who and how he wants or she wants.
That's why we are here today.
Also ich finde es enorm wichtig, heute hier zu sein, denn es existieren wieder Listen, auf denen Menschen, die ihre Namen gewechselt haben, die ihr Geschlecht gewechselt haben, registriert werden sollen. Und diese Listen, die können ganz schrecklich verwendet werden. Also da fühle ich mich sofort verpflichtet, dabei zu sein.
Deswegen sind Sie da.
Ja, Menschen sollten darüber bestimmen können, selbst bestimmen können, was sie tun und was sie lassen. Ja? Solange es anderen nicht schadet, frei nach Rosa Luxemburg. Ich denke, dass es gut ist, wenn in vielen, vielen Städten die Leute auf die Straße gehen und ihre Meinung vertreten.
I wanted to be here because I feel like there are a lot more people now who are trying to push LGBTQ people basically out of society. And so I wanted to, increase the visibility, show that there's support for queer people.
Aus dem Grund wegen dem CSD und wegen dem Auftritt vom Schlagerfürst. Das ist ein guter Kollege von mir und wir machen die ganze Tour zusammen.
So I attend Pride events more often. So I also wanted to come here to my hometown and see how much is going on, see the people here. I think it's important that you show support for queer people, especially in times where politics are getting more right-wing politicians are getting in power. and it's important to show people in these local towns also that queer people are supported and important.
And there really were a lot of people who came out in force to show their support and who contributed to the success of Herzo Pride. Not all of the people at the march were from Herzo. Some of them traveled quite a distance to be here.
Ich komme tatsächlich aus Dortmund, aus NRW, aus dem Ruhrpott, aus dem Wunderschönen.
Findest du, das Event war erfolgreich?
Ich finde das Event tatsächlich, muss ich ehrlich gestehen, dafür, dass ein kleiner Ort ist viel los. Und ich bin sehr, sehr positiv überrascht, dass so viele Menschen, zahlreiche Leute erschienen sind, auch Ältere, die einfach dafür sind, dass Queer einfach noch freier leben darf.
I think we counted more than 300 people, so yeah, better than expected.
So I think there were more people than I expected for a town of our size, and yeah, I thought it was great.
There were many more people than I thought there would be. I was talking to the organizers and they were thinking maybe people in the hundreds would come. But I do think maybe there are 1,000 people, but I'm not good at guessing.
Would you like to have such an event next year?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a very important thing to do. And I also know friends of mine who would like to come but weren't able to come this year. So I'm sure if there are more events, more people will also come over the years.
I think it would be great to have it every year and then also to have more and more people come to show their support.
Ich bin sowas von dafür. Von mir aus sollte es jeden Tag sein, das ganze Jahr über. Weil ich einfach dafür bin, dass einfach die Rechtsszene sollte einfach beiseite geschoben werden und die queere Szene mehr in den Vordergrund geschoben werden. Also ich weiß nicht, wir gehören mehr in den Mittelpunkt, würde ich sagen. Man sollte auch mehr vielleicht über uns berichten oder mehr reden einfach, damit die Leute wissen, okay, es ist doch gar nicht so schlimm, wie alle immer sagen.
There is quiet, and suddenly the rain starts.
Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.